Right, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Esea MDL Season 32, where of course I, Wolfie6678, will be bringing you Gamerlegion coming up against Phoenix as soon as we actually have an IP and a game to get into. It will be on Inferno, which is an interesting selection by both sides. I think there's positives and negatives to be drawn from it, but Phoenix got to be feeling pretty good so far. How are we all doing this evening, ladies and gents? I hope you are all doing well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we will actually get an IP inside the first 20 minutes of this stream on this occasion. But we've got players jumping servers at the moment because they're not happy with how the server's performing for them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, sooner rather than later, we will be able to get ourselves some games underway and get to watch some top-notch CS in Esea MDL. Of course, it is going to be Gamerlegion coming up against Phoenix. You've got a couple of the UK boys over on the Phoenix side of things, so expect to see me hyping them up pretty heavily. But we are going to be heading to Inferno, which is a good map for Phoenix as well. I'm surprised it slipped through. They've got a 78% win rate in the 18 maps that they've played on it, and Gamerlegion with a 65% over on their side of things. So it's an interesting situation to be picking towards a map that Phoenix are actually going to prefer a little bit. We do finally have ourselves an IP for this game, so hopefully that's a good sign of things to come and we won't be sat waiting forever to get into these games, which has been the case in the past, players and teams not happy with their pings and such. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is a game that lives up to the hype. I am inevitably going to build for it over the next sort of 10-15 minutes before the game really gets underway. Got the UK boys in the form of Thomas and, of course, Surreal, with Thomas thinking about his future with university and CS, saying he thinks he can only do one of the two. I think that's a bit of a mistake. I think he's a very talented individual, and he's the kind of player who can juggle both. He's only got a year left at uni as well, so well, it'll be interesting to see what he looks to do. And then over on the Gamerlegion side of things, it's a little bit of a menagerie of players. You've got Dennis, Rusty coming across from Ancient. Of course, Hampus and Nork have been around long enough to at least have the right jerseys on in their HLTV profile pictures. And Plesson, the new pickup. It's an interesting roster. Both teams are very fluid in their pickups, and NK very recently dropping in for Phoenix as well. So it's not like these teams are well established in their individuals, and not like they necessarily have had the time to practice and gel together that we expect from some of these teams in MDL. But it's been a solid string of performances so far from Phoenix. I really can't make too many criticisms of them. They've roughed it through, they've made it happen, and they're in a great position now, I think. I like the way they look. And I think they're in a great position to really make a run of this game and make a run of this roster as well. I think that's an important thing as well, is to try and find some consistency. They've roughed it a little bit in MDL, but they have been finding success in other areas, and I think it's about taking the positives when you're such a fluid roster. You don't really have that stability that other teams will have behind them, and it's about trying to just keep consistency in your form, and I think that is really where we need to see Phoenix stepping up. Gamerlegion, of course, a team with a little bit more stability behind them, but not the best of track records either. Have also been struggling in MDL this season, losing out to the likes of Demise, Spirit, Tricked, Nemiga. They did manage to take down Illuminar fairly comprehensively, and of course stole that victory away from a Vanguard, which I am going to hype up to no extent. But it's mixed for both teams. They've had rough knocks, you know. Phoenix recently took down Hard Legion 2-0, then they lose to Havu, then they take down VP, who've again looked mixed. There's a lot of teams in MDL who look like they're going through fairly major rejigs in the roster, and we are going to actually get straight into things with the knife round. So a very swift start to things, and that's what we like to see, as Juan Flatro apparently is AFK in spawn. That's a little bit unfortunate for the knife round, but here we go. He's connecting in now, and it'll be whoever takes this one, probably starting over on the CT side of things on Inferno. Phoenix doing a decent job initially, but then just an absolute demolition, and Rusty cleans things up as well. So almost immediately Gamerlegion dropping down onto the CT side of things. No messing about from them whatsoever. It's a game of momentum, and getting that CT side start on Inferno can be so crucial. Be interesting to see what Phoenix look to bring out. As I said previously, a little bit of a fluid roster, not the most established lineup. NK very recently joining things, so be interesting to see what kind of contribution he can make against The Gamerlegion side, who've had that core of 4 for quite some time now. DJL picking up a couple of flashbangs and the defuse kit to back it up. So looking at the retake for the CT side, but fairly spread between the bomb sites early on. Couple of players actually lurking in towards CT spawn and Speedway, but finally Dennis looks to make his commit in towards that A-bomb site, and Hampus actually looking to join him as Phoenix go fast in towards the apartments here. This could be a very swift hit. Nork looking to play the timing, but they're straight towards short. Finally, NK walks right into the crosshair, and that's the bomb down in mini-pit as well. Somehow, one Flatro gets one, but it's looking awkward before Surreal looks to steady things with a frag onto Dennis, and that will allow the bomb to just about go down. 3 on 3 as Hampus takes the jumping aim duel to take down Thomas. What if one Flatro and Surreal got to work with here? Short and long, the double take coming in from Gamerlegion. Rusty taking the early contact, baited into the crosshair. Juan Flatro looking for more, gets the second tap and gets the third as well. The young talent for Phoenix coming up absolutely huge. 4 kills in the round. And almost single-handedly winning them that pistol, if not for Surreal grabbing himself one on the Glock. Exactly the kind of start Phoenix would have hoped for. Immediately establishing themselves over on the T side of things, and as the CTs go for the buy, it's not going to be the best one in the world. Dropping down onto 3 Deagles to try and force this one out. MP9 and a Scout, and it really is going to be up to Nork on that Scout to find as many tags as possible and make this round as difficult as he possibly can for Phoenix. As Crucial and NK just using that utility well to take free control up towards the top of Banana. Just starting to lock things out early on. A little bit early on the nade from Hampus, hoping to get some damage out, but not going to be finding too much. And the rotations start to come through for Gamerlegion. They send the third man, Nork, on that Scout over towards the B-bomb site as Dennis just walks into the crosshairs of Juan Flatro, who of course has bought the AK off of that pistol round success. But nonetheless, it looks like Gamerlegion are going to have a decent stack against this push coming in on the SMGs. Last man on the A-bomb site is Rusty, and for the time being, the bomb is not committed either here or there. Hampus, edge of the smoke, brought down to 16. Does manage to get a tag off in response. Now, it actually looks like Phoenix may commit towards this heavily stacked B-bomb site. Start to walk into those pistols and make these Deagles a little bit more lethal than they ever deserve to be. DJL looking to stalk around the edge of that smoke, find any kind of damage, make this round even remotely possible. With 40 seconds left on the clock, the bomb denial does start to come into effect. Surreal, edge of the smoke. What can Nork find on that Scout? In towards the coffins. He misses the initial shot. That gives away his position. And now they start to swarm the MAC-10s. Thomas gets one. DJL able to trade 1 for 1 at the very least. But Thomas is farming himself some cash. Crucial coming in with a frag of his own as well. And Rusty, the last man alive, is in a 1-on-4 with 20 seconds left. The bomb is almost set to go down. And for the last man, it's a CT save for Rusty. It will be a very simple round. And a nice conversion indeed from Phoenix, as actually one of the Gamerlegion boys just manages to disconnect at the very depth of things here. So not going to be of too much significance, but it will be Phoenix taking the 2-0, and ideally for them, keeping those 2 AK-47s up, as there is the reconnect coming in from Nork, just making his way back into the server. And Rusty trying to keep that Deagle up. He does have full armor behind it, so anything he can keep into the next round is going to be absolutely huge. And you can see Phoenix are aware of that. They're trying to get a little bit aggressive. They're taking control of CT. NK, though, not going to be heading too far in towards that A-bomb site. Happy to hang back, keep himself that armor. Of course, he's on 100 HP. So saving himself $1,000 into the next round. And I've got the hiccups, but we'll try and push on through as the bonus round does come into effect for Phoenix. Couple of MAC-10s saved. Thomas and NK's the one to pick them up, and it's really hope and season for those MAC-10s now as the buy does come out from Gamerlegion. It's not good at all. Couple of pistols to work with. Hampus opting to stick down on that default USPS, and it's all about what these MAC-10s can get done, as again, using that utility early on, Phoenix looking to take map control away, as Crucial does take a couple of tags, traded out 1 for 1 as Thomas starts to make inroads towards the B-bomb site, but that's an AK down very early on in proceedings, and I spoke about how it's important to keep those AKs up in the previous. Dennis trying to be a bit enthusiastic. Surreal able to take him down with relative ease, and Thomas actually starting to walk into a little bit of a stack here out in the open. 1 tap from DJL finishes him off, and 3 on 3 now with rifles still in awkward positions. Juan Flatro taken out by a beautiful headshot from Rusty. That's an AK recoverable. Now it's down to 1 MAC-10. Make that just the 1 AK. Surreal finds himself all of a sudden in a 1-on-2, desperately trying to get the bomb down in towards this A-bomb site. Rusty already on the flank as well. It's going to be all about Surreal's read of this situation. Rusty very slowly, very cautiously making his way around, but Surreal looks to have read it well. Beautiful headshot from him. And the last man alive in the form of Nork has got it all to do, but Gamerlegion what a start from them on a round they had no business finding any real frags in. They've managed to find 4. It's the 1-on-1 now. And with Nork having a smoke and a flashbang, this one isn't completely unviable. Of course, no defuse kit over on the CT man, so he's got to stick the full 10 seconds. Taps it once. Time is running out, and that will be the end of it. Nork able to find at least one more frag on the exit, but he is going to stay alive with the AK whilst conceding the round the way of Phoenix. So a lovely performance from Gamerlegion, actually managing to keep the only man on the server alive and keep that economy starting to build over on the CT side of things whilst keeping their opponents in check. A lovely little play and perhaps a sign of what's to come from this Gamerlegion roster as they do finally manage to get their full buyout. They managed to get full rifles as Crucial does invest on the AWP and Krieg's come out for Surreal. Full buy for both sides. First opportunity to really see what Gamerlegion can do after success, to say the least, in the kind of half buys we've seen from them so far. Crucial eating the early nades with NK in support, but getting burnt down low as the smoke from the CT side is going to keep him honest. And with NK on 2 HP, that nade's going to do it. DJL managing to find himself an opening, and now Gamerlegion, they start to take liberties towards Banana, just trying to push DJL as aggressively as they can. Get that map control taken away from the T side, and Thomas not quite finding the timing. Gets a couple of tags onto Hampus, but nothing too significant, and he spams on through. They know it's going to be this A bomb site now, and you can see the rotation already from Hampus trying to make his way around to support his teammates in towards A. 4 players here for the CT side at the moment, as just DJL left shoulder peeking in towards the half wall. Of course, not going to be spotting anything in particular, but the deep smoke gives him room to maneuver, and it's going to be a 4-on-3 at the moment unless Thomas looks to join his teammates. Going to make this A-bomb site hit very difficult to pull off effectively, as Surreal just dropping the molly, trying to bait Dennis into the peak. Oh, flash is good, but the spray is even better. Dennis gets one before he's traded out, and now the CT side just start to pick them off. Hampers finding a frag onto Juan Flatro, and it's Thomas and Crucial, with Crucial on just 28 HP on that AWP. What can Thomas find here? So many angles to cover. The pop flash is good, but actually blinding Hampus up a little bit as well. Makes it a little awkward as Crucial trying to slow peek his way up. Spotted out, takes the shot, can't quite connect and has to fall back. Now, I don't know what Phoenix can do in this situation. DJL looking to cut things off as well with a very aggressive angle, and Thomas with nothing really to work with here. 18 seconds left. He's going to try and retreat in towards spawn. Keep those 2 rifles alive. And Gamerlegion will get their first round of the half on the board, and perhaps a sign of things to come, because they are looking very strong when they have rifles in their hands. Just swinging wide, playing beautifully as a team, and finding themselves picks as well. 3-1 the scoreline. Gamerlegion starting things off with a 4-man win. Over on the CT side of things, keeping 4 rifles up as well can be so effective. Just starting to drain that economy of Phoenix, as they will look to invest around those 2 rifles saved from the previous. The AWP, of course, in the hands of Crucial, and that AK in the hands of Thomas. NK, at the very least, able to upgrade onto the Galil, but it's going to be a Deagle for Juan Flatro and a CZ for Surreal to try and find some success in a round where really they have no business finding any. They're going to go aggressive early on, sending Surreal in towards the apartments. Of course, that CZ far more useful up at close range than anywhere else, and try to take advantage of any rogue CT aggression, but Hampus controlling his team for the time being. Thomas through the smoke, managing to find himself a nice little entry, taking down DJL on the spray down, and perhaps that's the kind of luck Phoenix will be hoping to find, as they do look set up for the A execute. Going to be wandering into Nork on that Krieg. Can be so difficult to deal with, but he's up towards the apartments, up close and personal, where Surreal on that CZ has a very realistic chance of winning the Angel. It's going to be Nork and Rusty for the time being, as Dennis just starts to rotate in towards Long, trying to bait the crosshair out. Smoke from Surreal goes a little too deep, doesn't quite put that Molotov out, and that buys all the more time for the CT side, opting not to rotate Hampus just yet, as that bomb's still to be retrieved. And Surreal, does he read this play? Does he expect the player close on the right-hand side with that CZ as he queues up for the execution? And what can Phoenix find here? Actually, just dropping down now, Nork, giving himself a new angle to work with. It's going to be the 3-man hold from the CT side, 5-on-3. How does this execute pan out, as Surreal spotted out early on, and Dennis able to find the opening pick. Such nice crossfire from the CT side, and now we're all level. The double dink comes through, but Nork's still alive, finally taken down by NK before he's traded, and Rusty with the spray down gets 2. Of course he gets 3 on the A-bomb site. Rusty going absolutely huge, and it will be a second round for Gamerlegion. That is worrying signs indeed. Phoenix with a lucky opening pick, but that's just about all they're going to get in this round. 2 frags to their name, and looking a little bit rusty around the edges, the T side. Phoenix just succumbing to the spray down of Rusty on the bomb site, making it look all too easy. And They will be down onto the half by the Deagles. A P250 and a CZ75. It looks like it's a very similar play being called. Perhaps some slightly faster movement as they make their way in towards the apartments initially, Phoenix. Just looking to take map control. Flatro trusted with the Deagle as he goes for the early peeks in towards Boiler, and NK to back him up, taking those long haul apartments peaks. Not spotting out anyone for the time being, as again, Gamerlegion happy to play passively in the early round, not feeling the need to take aggressions over on their CT side. Happy to just slowly let that map control be taken, bleed the utility away from Phoenix, and then trusting themselves with their own individual skill. But looks like Phoenix are happy with what they've bled away from the CT side, and instead are going to turn their attention in towards Banana, with DJL and Hampers just started to fall back off the angle initially. The Pistols trying to pressure them with the multiple peaks, and Hampers will take the early dink through the wood down to 62, but this is where the utility becomes huge. Couple of tags onto Surreal, he goes down to 29, and Phoenix yet to really make any inroads towards Banana with 40 seconds left on the clock. These Pistols are going to have to absolutely overwhelm the CT side if they want to get in towards one of the bomb sites. The bomb making its way up Banana suggests we will see the B hit. It's going to be all up to DJL and Hampers to hold this one down. Nice crossfire, CT and second oranges as the Molotov goes deep as well. 25 seconds left on the clock. I'm not sure how much longer Phoenix could afford to waste hanging around top Banana, and Surreal trying to cause havoc towards the A-bomb site, but his position is being read beautifully by Rusty, and there we go. Hampers and Rusty finding frags. Hampers grabs the second from CT. He's been dinked down low, but he won't care. DJL can just sweep in with the cleanup, and Thomas not able to find anything. Gamerlegion drawing level at 3 apiece, and it's a vastly contrasting round against what we saw from Phoenix. They get the half buyout. Gamerlegion don't lose a man. Gamerlegion get the half buyout. Phoenix lose all 5 and give an AK up over onto the CT side. So very different approaches, and the pause is going to be called. It's going to be Phoenix trying to work out how to get back into this one. It is just a brief technical pause at the moment. They're just going to try and get some things sorted out. And I'll take advantage to say thank you very much to everybody who's come to watch the stream today. Much appreciated, ladies and gents, and I hope you're enjoying the commentary. As always, any feedback, please feel free to spam me on Twitter, on here, wherever you think is best, and I will do my very best to take it into account. The buy is going to be available, and it looks like Juan Flatro has made the decision for his team at this point. Going to be buying very heavily into this round, down to literally no money as he looks to try and make something of it. Try and give himself perhaps half an opportunity to find those frags, and we've seen what he can do as an individual, but it's going to take another inhuman performance. It looks like at the moment Phoenix are just holding on by the skin of their teeth as Gamerlegion really assert themselves in the early rounds on the CT side. Thomas with 3,400 after he buys the armor could afford the Krieg and some utility to back it up, and indeed almost immediately that does come out. And for Phoenix, it's all about making those Kriegs work. Such a strong CT, blimey, I'm tired, T-sided weapon. But if you give it over to the CT forces, it can become your demise just as quickly as it looked like it would be your successes. What can they do to negate the AWP of Nork to keep Rusty out of this game early on? It is going to be the buy. There are going to be Kriegs and 3 AK-47s for Phoenix. A little bit of utility, but very much lacking over on the T side of things as they try and make this execute happen. And the early peek again from the CT side, just taking liberties down Banana. They've got Thomas pinned in towards the logs, and Hampus will find a free frag to open things up. Gamerlegion just timing those early round aggressions to perfection in the previous. No aggressions whatsoever. This time with the AWP to back them up, they feel that they can go for it, and they find themselves in a frag as a reward. Interesting to see Phoenix trying to take some liberties towards bracket in response. They know the CTs will have invested heavily in towards that push, but DJL and Hampus almost immediately rotating around as Surreal does manage to find a pick back the way of Phoenix, taking down DJL as he rotates back off of the B bomb site, and they've left Nork isolated towards A. He's going to drop towards B. He's going to drop a very deep smoke, and actually Crucial starting to think about the flank around here. Could leave the AWP in a lot of issues, as indeed he's going to make his way through the arches. It is all on Nork here with it all to do. He does manage to find the pick, drops the bomb as well. He can call the rotation, but the CT side absolutely pinned in. That Molotov gives him half a second to breathe, and he does spot out Crucial before Juan Flatro makes his way through. And can they clear out this AWP? Can Phoenix flush him out? Juan Flatro just trying to bait for the shot, and he gets it out, but Nork somehow finds the frag. Crucial able to trade it back 2-on-2, and it's going to be the retake from Banana. Rusty and Dennis already very aggressive. And it's all about the timing here. Crucial just about diving behind the coffins in time. And there we go. The Krieg takes the head off, and it's all on Rusty. 1-on-2. He's got the AK in hand, but the Krieg at that sort of range is always going to win out. And Phoenix will regain their lead 4-3, even managing to save the AWP onto Crucial. Hate to say the puns, but it's absolutely crucial that Phoenix keep this kind of form up. They need to keep splitting the CT side, making it as difficult as possible to hold on to the bomb sites. We've seen what happens when they walk into a stacked and well-organized CT side. It's almost impossible for Phoenix to make any kind of inroads, as they do invest very heavily into the utility. Juan Flatcher, I think, is a little bit glitched out as Crucial goes for the early peek, but again, the CT side trusting Rusty. He's going to get very aggressive in towards middle initially. Pop flash for Hampus for the peak as well. Not really punished by the nade. Does take a couple of tags through the smoke. I refuse to believe that Juan Flatcher only has a Glock. So I think he's got a rifle on his back here that the game isn't showing us. And Hampus finding the opening pick again. Taking down Surreal as he tried to get aggressive. Somehow Crucial able to cover his teammate for the time being. But Nork finds the trade as well. And once again, the picks just favouring Gamerlegion. Just looking a little bit more organised in their rounds as the chaos starts to get to Phoenix. They try and take that control towards Banana, but the two-man CT setup from DJL and Hampus is going to be very difficult to dislodge. NK looking to join his teammates, and it looks like B will be their final destination. Interested to see how they look to use the utility to clear this one out. They have plenty to work with on Crucial. NK and Juan Flatro with a smoke as well. They can really look to try and flush DJL and Hampus off their angles, and pop flash over the top suggests that is exactly the idea. Molly from the CT side going to go deep on the wrong bomb site as the push starts to come through. Boosted up. Hampus not able to find much of anything initially, but now he goes for the timing, and Crucial just about able to stabilize and somehow grab himself another frag. So many tags though, and Nork will finally start to capitalize, and it's all on NK. 1-on-2 with just 10 HP to work with as well. Pop flash over the top, not going to blind him as he makes his way down in towards the pool. Trying to play these CT's minds as much of anything, and he does have plenty of utility to work with. That Molotov can go towards the bombers. Both CT players making their way in. They know he's low. Nork dropping onto the M4. It's going to have to be two very quick headshots. Dennis is one, and the second is there as well. 10 HP. NK finds himself the clutch just about Phoenix. How do they pull that one off yet again? The individual skill, all that's really keeping Phoenix in this game at this point, as once again, Gamerlegion, their economy is finally broken, and they will be down onto the half buy. Oh man, ladies and gents. This game is not giving up just yet. The buy will come out. Couple of Mac 10s, of course. As Phoenix looking to farm themselves some cash. They know it's been a very difficult ride so far, but if they can keep this consistency up on the T side, keep punishing the CTs, and keep the level of individual skill as high as it has been, you can only feel promising for them. DJL, though, looking to make things go the other way. Finds himself the opening pick, but now the frags start to come back, and the Mac 10 start to take advantage of these unarmored opponents. Hampus tight on the angle, and Surreal just jumping around the corner will find the frag. Last two in the server in Rusty and Dennis. It's just about finding a couple of frags, perhaps a little bit of damage. Dislodge some of those AK-47s as Rusty gets aggressive, and Surreal actually going to walk right into the crosshairs. So now the Molotov can go towards default bomb plant and start to make this Mac 10 all the more viable. Thomas bailing out his AWP as he's brought down to 26, and Dennis with plenty of tags to capitalize on here. Could be in for a double kill if he can just keep Phoenix away from escaping. He's locked in towards construction at the moment, and he's going to make his way around for the coffin's peak and perhaps start to find half an opportunity. If he can find a frag or keep a couple of players in towards the bomb site, the economy will be kept so honest for the T side, and Crucial out in the open. That's an easy one. Dennis finds the second one-on-one as he's cleared out by Thomas, and oh my goodness, Phoenix are determined to make this as difficult as possible for themselves, not quite able to escape. Dennis finds two, and for a moment there you believed if he had the defuse kit I would have backed him there, but instead it's Thomas gunning him down in the back, and it will mean that Phoenix have to invest very heavily yet again. If this round goes south, their economy is going to be looking very dire as it's full rifles across the CT side. Dennis opting to pick up the scoped alternative as he takes that one in towards the graveyard early on. Gamerlegion happy to sit back, happy to play passive once again. We've seen them get aggressive for a couple of rounds on the CT side, and This time, just happy to sit back, trying to play the mind games up against this T-side. The Molotov will force Nork out, but Surreal not quite able to punish it. And actually, Nork going for some punishment of his own, doesn't quite connect. And it's just the aim duel through the edges of these smokes at the moment. Surreal tries to swing wide on the left, but he will be found by Nork as he goes down to half HP. And once again, just a slight individual mistake is going to be so detrimental for Phoenix as they find themselves 5-on-4, trying to take that long control on the wrap, but Nork just lurking around these smokes, causing as much mayhem as he possibly can. Where do you go if you're Phoenix? 5-on-4, they know whichever bomb site they enter is going to be difficult, and they're running very low on utility, a consequence of those economic issues I spoke about. And as Nork starts to make his way around, this bomb flash is perfect. There's one. Crucial somehow, half blinded, finds the trade, and Thomas actually finds a frag of his own. Starts to make you believe a little NK in towards short, though, is very rapidly taken down as Rusty looking to lock things out from Pit and buying his team so much time. The bomb goes down, but Crucial's out in the open, and it's all on Thomas. He needs the 1-on-3. He's being baited into the shot as the pop flash comes over from Hampus. He's all on his own. He's found the first, though, and now he starts to think about the opportunity presented. He grabs the second, but the ammo isn't there. Oh, man, oh, man. For a second, you thought Phoenix could have that round through another piece of individual brilliance, this time from Thomas. But instead, Hampus benefits from the lack of ammunition. And Gamerlegion get their fourth. It's not going to be a quiet game, let's put it that way. Nobody wanting to give up their own momentum, and the economy just swinging back and forth at the moment. I'm taking a quick drink of water as the pause is indeed called. And for Phoenix, an opportunity perhaps to think about what's going on with their economy as they do call that pause. They know that they're not in the best position, they're not in the best shape. They're not really managing to build themselves a half in the way they would have envisioned. So it's about punishing the CT side now as they go for 2 MP9s. And Rusty and DJL look to farm themselves as much cash as possible. They have been very good so far, Gamerlegion, of dealing with those half buys, of just pushing through and making sure they keep the important players alive, keep those rifles up. So it'll be interesting to see what Phoenix can achieve and how they look to buy into this one. Thomas with enough money for Deagle and armor at the very least. How do Phoenix look to buy for this one? It is actually the technical pause, just reading the stream chat. So it looks like we are going to be waiting a little while Phoenix look to get some of their tech issues sorted out. Doesn't look like it's a ping issue, so hopefully it won't take too long as Harmflatro is going to leave the server temporarily. I hope, and we will be back into things sooner rather than later. Of course, I'm going to take this opportunity to go full sellout. So if you have been enjoying the stream, you know where the follow button is. You know where my Twitter is down below. Please feel free if you have been enjoying it. I cover a lot of MDL, and I might stay up for some NA games tonight. We will have to wait and see. But hopefully we will wait and see Juan Flatro getting back into the server very shortly. An intriguing game early on, to say the least. Neither team really able to establish themselves, really able to just push their momentum over the opponents. And it's one of those games that feels like it could still very much go either way, and there's still opportunities for both sides to build, to find their form, and to just take it away from their opponents. It's going to be difficult to call this one, I think. I think it could go right down to the wire, but hopefully Juan Flatro will be in sooner rather than later, and things will get underway, because I am very excited to see how this game pans out and how Phoenix can keep their momentum. They are doing a great job so far. They are on the T side of Inferno, so I'd say 8 rounds would be a huge success. To go in with any kind of a majority is, of course, absolutely insane for a T side of Inferno, so they're going to be feeling pretty good so far. But now the tide starts to turn. It's going to be them with very little to work with up against the Gamerlegion side looking to farm themselves enough economy to take it towards the end of that first half. And it'll be intriguing to see how it pans out. We are still ever so patiently waiting for Juan Flatro to get back into the server so we can get things back and going. I hope, beyond all hopes, that it doesn't take too much longer. He should be back into things soon and be able to provide us with some of that individual skill that we've seen so far in this series from the Phoenix players. They really do seem to be leaning on it. It's not something they normally do too much, leaning on the individual skill of players, but on this occasion, clearly they are wanting to get it going. And shit, hey Davey, how you doing, man? You got bored of the tech pauses, did you? Thank you very much, my dude. Massively appreciated. Unfortunately, you've come in at the worst possible time because we are just waiting for the game to get back underway. But it looks like the pause time will be cancelled. It'll be the Eagles and SMGs coming out as Phoenix actually going for the force buy here to try and make some kind of a dent into Gamerlegion's economy. It'll be interesting to see how these MP9s can really farm cash and if they need the support of M4s a little more than they'd perhaps be expecting. Phoenix going to put some early pressure in towards Banana. Crucial, very aggressive. The MP9 up close and personal. That's an absolute freebie. And Surreal brought down low. Found by Hampus through the smoke. That is an absolutely awful start. The force buy from Phoenix not working out whatsoever. And already down into the 5-on-3 with 2 MAC-10s and a CZ remaining. You really don't see a way they're going to get back into things here as Juan Flatro thinks about the presence in towards the A-bomb site. But it's such a nice crossfire setup there with Dennis and the AWP of Nork to lock everything down. Juan Flatro lagging something horrific as he tries to self-flash himself and try and get that control towards short. But again, Thomas with it all to do, and he's actually just missed the timing there. Dennis has spotted him out into the corner. Nork gets one. The second goes the way of Dennis, and he cleans things up. They get a 5th on the board, Gamerlegion, and the force buy looks absolutely awful. They don't get anything done, Phoenix. Not a single frag to their name, and 6-5 the scoreline. They're going to be in an awful situation economically. Alright, have fun, Davey. Thanks for the host again, man. The buy comes out for Phoenix. It's a CZ on Thomas and a P250 on Surreal. That's all they can afford. And of course, Rusty and DJL are going to keep their MP9s in hand. Just keep farming that money. Keep building your economy towards the end of this first half, Gamerlegion, as they look to steady the ship again. Phoenix looking like they want to try and take some presence towards the A-bomb site. They've had success there, although it's largely been due to that individual skill of the players, but hasn't looked like a very team-oriented performance from Phoenix initially, to say the least, but still 6 rounds on the T side of Inferno, nothing to be ashamed of as Nork does manage to help himself to an opening pick, taking down Surreal. You can see Juan Flatro trying to take advantage of the AWP, but with the M4 of Hampus there to support, it's easy game. And DJL just going to help himself, taking down Thomas in the backstab. Nork cleans it down to just NK left on the server, and it's just dismissive at this point from Gamerlegion, making it look a little bit too easy. As NK with a Glock to work with needs to try and find some kind of damage in this round, but Gamerlegion again, they're not looking to push the issue, just happy to sit back and wait for the timing. Dennis going to spot NK out, goes for the spray down and finds the frag as well. Another beautifully orchestrated round from Gamerlegion. They get the draw at 6-all. And this buy has to be pitch perfect from Phoenix. They need to find some kind of way to get consistent rounds. Their T-side just hasn't been what it should have been. They had great success initially, but now with the Kriegs and AK-47s out, they've got to try and find a way back into this. They've got to try and find a way to assert themselves on the game. Molotov goes deep from Dennis, forcing Crucial away from the support of his teammates, but for the time being, Gamerlegion aren't going to look to press the issue in that regard. They're happy to, again, sit back passively. I love how Gamerlegion are just mixing up their CT sides. This time it's 3 towards the B-bomb site as Rusty, as soon as I say that, makes the rotation around. And DJL just shoulder peeking. It will get his head ripped off. Lovely shot from Surreal to open things up. And although it is only the MP9, it forces Hampus to rethink his rotation, forces some of that CT support back towards the B-bomb site. Starts to bleed out a little bit more of that CT utility. Phoenix can sit back now. They can start to play the numbers game as Juan Flatro trying to press the issue towards B. How do Phoenix unlock this defense? They have the map control, they have the numbers, and they're going to try and really force Hampus into an awkward spot here. He's all alone towards that B-bomb site. Hasn't called any kind of a rotation. He's going to have to do it all alone. The pop flashes will come over the top. The smoke to force him out of CT. That Molotov might buy him a little time at least, but Surreal already making his way through and into CT at that. He can cut off the rotations as Rusty tries to make his way round on the MP9. Does he clear the close angle? He's got no idea at all. That's an easy headshot. Hampus has managed to make his way out onto the site, but he's got it all to do, and he can't find anything as Thomas takes him down. Nork and Dennis, there's nothing they can do in this round but try and save those 2 remaining rifles, and Juan Flatro is looking to make that as difficult as possible as well, as it will be the crossfire established for the CT side. Nork able to find that frag at the very least, and I think at this point Phoenix may well give up the ghost of keeping those 2 rifles away from the CT side and instead look to save 4 of their own, keep that buy viable into what will be the last 2 rounds of this first half. Phoenix will have their lead once again on 7, and It's going right down to the wire this game. Nobody quite sure which way it's going to swing at this point. It'll be intriguing to see what Gamerlegion can bring towards the last 2 rounds of this first half and indeed bring to their T side. It hasn't been their known strength. It'll be intriguing to see what they can bring to the party. Shit, sneaky. I'd love to color with Davey. I'd love Davey to be my color. That would actually be sick. I need to get some casts in with him at some point. Last chance saloon for the CT side, as this will be their penultimate buy. Double AWP setup called as well. They are investing almost everything they have. Nork and Dennis, of course, saving from the previous round, able to buy pretty heavily. And will have the buyout into the next round, as Nork actually going for the peek down middle initially, setting up Hampers towards Banana, but he's going to be pop flashed off. And not quite going to find the timing on that AWP, as Surreal just starts to shoulder peek the angle. Dancing with death towards bottom Banana, but not going to be scared out of things just yet. Trying to find the spam through. Thomas so nearly connecting with the header Hampus, as now they look to pressure the AWPer. Once again, Hampus finding himself completely alone towards that B bomb site, having to fall back, and this time he makes the call. He calls that rotation around, puts DJL in support, and perhaps buys his team half an opportunity, because Phoenix are posturing super heavily towards this B bomb site. DJL and Hampus grouped up on that B-bomb site. But Phoenix not looking set on their plans just yet. They've still got the lurk plays. Nork still hanging about, trying to cause some havoc towards the library, but he's not going to be tested for the time being. He may just look to rotate out, as Juan Flatro tries to bait with the noise and keeps the AWPer in towards the A-bomb site. It's all on to DJL and Hampus here. Double AWP setup, of course, not good for the retake whatsoever, so these two players have to find multiple frags. Boosted up towards the back of the bomb site. Hampus has the angle. 2 frags very early on, and that is exactly what DGL and Hampus would have wanted to achieve. The crossfires instrumental, as Hampus goes for another peek. Edge of the smoke finally going to betray him, and Juan Flatro looking to cause havoc, but DJL still alive towards the back of the bomb site. Finds the first and buying so much time before he's taken down by Crucial, as Nork already in towards construction. The bomb will go down, but it's 3-on-2, and top Banana already controlled by the CT forces as they look to swing. Tagging down Crucial. He's going to walk right into the crosshairs. Nork with a free frag, and Juan Flatro, he would need a 4K to finish things off here. Can he find those frags? Nork spots him out. He finds the first, but the second comes from on high, and Rusty able to trade things out. It will be 7-all. Gamerlegion by no means done with this series yet, and we have a really intriguing best of 1 on our hands here, guys. 7-all, and the last chance buy comes out for Phoenix. They can get the AWP out onto Crucial, and indeed they will, as Gamerlegion really needed that round to be successful with the double AWP investment, and as such able to buy full utility behind it. Dennis even going for the cheeky Zeus. Thomas having a sacrifice, going down onto that Mac 10, trying to find some kind of an advantage for his team, as again Gamerlegion mixing things up nicely. Hampers falling back very passively. Not looking to go for the aggressive peaks on the AWP on this occasion. And of course, for Thomas having to waste a little bit more utility, clearing out an AWPer who's not there. Surreal's head just spotted out, and Hampus with the flick as well. Bang headshot to find the opening pick, and Gamerlegion have so consistently been finding those. It's just about cleaning up the mid rounds at this point. And again, Juan Flatro looking a little bit awkward. The internet just lagging out slightly. Gonna make it all the harder, as Phoenix are going to head in towards this A-bomb site. Again, Nork on the angle. Thomas thinking about shoulder peeking it, but it's going to be all about the timing, and Nork gets the benefit. Molotov goes deep as well. That's going to put the bomb in no man's land, as AK at the very least is able to find one to take down Dennis, but again, the CT side looking so good. Interestingly, yet to call the rotation. Haven't quite spotted out that bomb, as Phoenix looking fully set for this A-site take. 45 seconds left on the clock as Rusty plays the off angle. Crucial with no idea. Can't quite connect with the shot as he's taken down. That's the bomb spotted. That's the rotation called. 35 seconds left on the clock. It will be just Hampers left alone towards B as DJL looks to help his team out. And NK spotted out round the fountain. That's an easy frag to find. And Juan Flatro, you've got to feel sorry for him. His internet is not good at all. He's in the 1-on-3. I don't think he's even going to go for this with 20 seconds left on the clock. He's just going to try and fix his internet. That is so unfortunate. But it will be Gamerlegion going into the half with the narrowest of leads. I think Phoenix, they can't complain. They've done a great job on the T side of Inferno, but it's going to be a long way back. It's still a long way to go for Phoenix, although As I've said before, Gamerlegion's CT sides are a lot stronger than their T half. So as DJL cleans things up and we go into the halftime break, there's still plenty that could happen. There's still plenty of opportunities for my UK boys to steal it away. We'll have to see which way this one swings as Juan Flatro does exit the server, and he will probably be trying to fix his internet, so I've got a couple of minutes just to chill with you guys. An intriguing first half of CS. I'm just going to grab myself a drink of water as well, because my throat is destroyed. Yeah, Davey said he was working Pro League, right? I heard him saying he was getting on the desk for that, which is absolutely insane. Well, at least this game isn't as much of a stomp as the other MDL games going on today. For anybody who's interested, Fours are currently 11-3 up against AGO, so not the game you would have been wanting to watch. And Illuminar 11-4 up against Movie Star Riders, although that is... Holy sh... I was about to say that is Nuke, but it's actually Illuminar on the T side of Nuke finding themselves 11 rounds, so that should be a very quick finish as well. So you've picked the best game of the night to watch, ladies and gents, and hopefully Juan Flatro can get his internet sorted out and the game can live up to the hype that it really should have behind it. I'm going to give up with the fill segment now and just chat to you guys. Isn't it Movistar like the company? Yes, I think so. Am I pronouncing it wrong? I never get names right. I just wing it. Normally it's the like the really obscure Eastern European CSGO names, and people will come in and be like, you're not meant to pronounce the third E. Movistar. Movistar. Oh, Movistar sounds right, actually. I think I've heard that, because they've got a cycling team as well. Movistar. I'll try and remember it. But it's going to be difficult, because my brain doesn't function at this time in the evening. They had a cycling team. Yeah, I thought they did. I thought they did. Davey was on the desk 2 weeks ago. It's pretty hype. Fuck, that's awesome. Congrats to him. I mean, like, he seems like he's got a really intelligent brain for CS. Like, watching him, he just picks up shit that I never get. So, but then I'm awful at analyst work, which is why I don't do it. I just go for the good old-fashioned play-by-play, screaming about things, hyping them up. So hopefully I can continue to do that once Juan Flatro gets back into the server and we can get the game back underway. And of course, I will be hyping up the UK boys absolutely shitless. So you better be ready for a half of me just hyping up Surreal. Because that is all I do at this point. That's all I do. Wait, are you British too? Yeah. Yeah, which is why I can't cast any NAMDL games, because I have work at 8 AM tomorrow morning, and it's like, the NAMDL games are like midnight through to 2 AM my time, so it is not a kind of time that I can be playing with. I'm meant to be doing NAMDL for the caster challenge for Esea, but it's so difficult trying to find the time to do it, but hopefully I can get some games in, because Davey plays in MDL, right? He plays for Pika's Advantage. I'm going to tell him that he needs to schedule some of his games earlier in the friggin' morning, so I can cast some of them. Like, just schedule a game at like 4 in the morning, and that'll be 4 PM, that'll be 10 PM my time. Like, just give me some games to cast or something. Where do I work? I work for a company called CGI, technical consultancy. It sucks, but whatever. Yeah, it's time differences. Like, you can't catch all the games, can you? I did some casting in Shanghai this summer, and the time difference was just friggin' ridiculous. Like, I got up, and my girlfriend was just going to bed, and I went to bed, and my girlfriend was just waking up. It was quite something, let's put it that way, but I just want this game to get back underway so I can cast some CS. I was meant to be picking my girlfriend up from the station, but seeing as Davey's gone to pick his missus up, I'll tell her that I'm busy, and I will keep casting the CS for you guys. Juan Flatro looks to be having some pretty serious internet issues at the moment, so I hope he can get them resolved and we can get back into the game sooner rather than later. Dennis not showing off the best of aim, but there we have it. Just about cleaning things up, so hopefully this game gets back underway sooner rather than later. Good man, CS is better than the girlfriend. I mean, once this game is done, I'll be coming off and spending time with her. Although the Escape from Tarkov patch has me grinding that shitless at the moment, but another game for another day. I haven't actually played CS in ages. I just haven't had the time. I need to get some more games in. I lost my global the other week as well, which sucked ass. What can you do? And I am desperately trying to fill, if you guys hadn't worked that out. I'm trying to find some time, something to talk about for the next however many minutes until the internet is better. Why do you not cheer on the Swedish team? Because there's 2 UK players on Phoenix. And as a British citizen, I am legally obliged, I think, to hype up UK CS far beyond what it should be. And ruin my voice screaming Smuya. I think that's my legal obligations as a UK citizen. I mean, I love some of the players on Gamerlegion, don't get me wrong. Like, Dennis is class. Hampus, of course, seems to be able to pull 5 random players together and make a team that can kill anyone. But I've just got to hype up the UK CS, man. My apologies, but it is what it is. Juan Flatro must be having some pretty serious internet issues, so hopefully he gets them resolved at some point in the not too distant future, and we can get back into this game. I'm presuming, Davey people, I'm presuming Davey's going to be doing the NA games tonight as well, because I was thinking about jumping on those, but I don't want to be stealing people who could be watching Davey's stream, so if he's casting them, I will take another L and hopefully get an NA game or 2 in. Like, I need to try and get something in for this caster challenge, because otherwise they're just going to go, you didn't cast anything, rip. You're not allowed to participate next season. So I got to try and get at least a couple of videos in, but they won't allow TV cast, they won't allow vodcast, so you got to do it live, and I got to try and find a day where me turning up to work half brain dead will not be the end of the world, but it is going to be Juan Flatro making his way back into the server. Phoenix with just the 1 round deficit as they head over onto the CT side of Inferno. Going to be feeling very confident indeed. What can Gamerlegion bring to the party? What can the IGL Hampus pull out of his hat? What's in his bag of tricks? 2 smokes, a molly and 2 flashbangs picked up very early on. Not sure where they're going to be deployed, but we'll have to wait and see as Juan Flatro does go for the early peek down mid. Gets a little bit of information and indeed in towards the apartments as well. Very aggressive on those early peaks, and it's going to leave him a little bit vulnerable. They do have the crossfire, but Nork and Rusty, with all the time in the world to try and lock this one out. Crucial spots out one, but here we go. Juan Flatro somehow winning the aim duel up close and personal, but traded out. Rusty managing to find the refrag. Needs to be a little bit cautious here. The advantage very narrowly with the T side at the moment. Gamerlegion starting to group up as well towards this B bomb site, and it looks like the full utility execute is going to be called. Dennis out in the open, goes for the shoulder peek, hits the dink as well, forcing Thomas to rethink matters, and now the utility can come. Now the execute is going to lock the rotations clean out of the site. NK burning alive. So much to do, so little time. Trying to make his way into dark. Thomas trying to go through the smoke as well. Manages to grab one before he's taken down. That's a lovely trade given how little HP he had. But Surreal and Crucial, they need an absolutely clinical, ruthless retake here. The double dink will ensure that's not the case. Crucial with a 1 versus 3. At least there's a defuse kit in towards CT, but he is going to have to be nigh on flawless. Lovely headshot for the first. Making his way in towards that bomb site. Starting to dream a dream, but Hampus and Dennis, such a nice crossfire. The double peek as well. Dennis just going to clean things up. And Gamerlegion will get their 9th with that T-sided pistol. Start to put the pressure back on Phoenix, and when they are under pressure, they do tend to crack a little bit. Going for the force buy by the looks of things as well. Thomas down to $100. Juan Flatro and Crucial looking for the sort of half buy to a K mark, but instead it is going to be the full force. Utility being picked up as well by Phoenix. Interesting to see 4 smokes the option, as Thomas tries to do what he can with an MP9, and the barrel of death is going to be called by Gamerlegion. 4 MAC-10s and Dennis on the AK to clean up any mistakes as they just barrel their way out towards A long, starting to make their noise and make their presence known, but it's going to make it very difficult for Phoenix to get anything done. Juan Flatro has to find this early frag, and he will take down Hamper, so at least that's one less angle for Phoenix to worry about as Nork tries to refrag. Juan Flatro a little bit too enthusiastic. Crucial on the Deagle, though. Starts to make some inroads of his own towards the A bomb site. The trade's finally starting to go the way of the T side, but instead it's Surreal finding a frag on the Deag, and it's all on Rusty. He's got a 1 versus 2 to deal with here as the CT side just look to group up. What can he find? There's head armor on Thomas, and he's actually able to grab himself the AK-47 as well. That nade, I have no idea what that was trying to achieve. Perhaps blow back on the rifle, but Thomas will upgrade. No defuse kit. They have to go quickly. Surreal spots him out. Can Thomas find this with the AK-47 in hand? Of course he can. It will be Phoenix securing that force buy, and it's worked out absolutely beautifully as, again, the individual skill just trumping the team play of Gamerlegion, just finding those rounds where really they don't deserve them. Phoenix should have been cleaned up there by the barrel of death that is 4 MAC-10s and an AK-47. But instead they steal the round away and put the Gamerlegion economy right back on the ropes. And of course Gamerlegion are going to look to do the exact same to them in the chaos. They will be force buying 2 rifles and 3 deagles to try and make what they can of it. Surreal, the only player really sacrificing much in terms of firepower for Phoenix as he goes down onto the MP9. And the utility is a little limited for the CT forces, but I don't think they're going to be fussed about that. Lovely nade stack. Does find a couple of tags onto NK and Thomas and starts to make those deagles look a little bit more viable. And the rifles actually heading towards the A-bomb site at the moment for Gamerlegion. Nork and Rusty looking to play in tandem as they take control towards middle and actually managing to take bracket relatively unopposed. Gamerlegion being given a lot of liberty to do what they like in towards bracket early on, and you can see they're just starting to get a hint that this A-bomb site may not be as occupied as they expect as Thomas rotates in to try and anchor down long. And Phoenix might have over-rotated here. Gamerlegion have to retrieve the bomb from Vietnam, but they should be able to grab it without too many consequences. And indeed, they look like they're going to head towards that B-bomb site, where currently Surreal, the only player there, just an MP9. As he jump peeks the angle, there's going to be so many crosshairs on him. What can he do here? He backs off, he calls the rotation, but NK actually just thinks about falling back for a second, and that's going to make it even more awkward as Gamerlegion taking liberties, take control of top banana. All 5 players just looking to barrel in, keep this crosshair as occupied as possible. NK, edge of the smoke, is going to find one early on. Takes down DJL. One of the deagles gone, but the 2 rifles still stay up. And Gamerlegion still with options. 25 seconds left on the clock. They're going to rotate back around. And is this a missed call from Phoenix? John Flatro out in the open. How is he still alive? That is so fortunate. That's going to allow the rotation to make its way back around as Crucial locks down Graveyard. And he should have free reign on this, although Nork likes to make things interesting. Crucial finds one. Now the crossfire from NK as he grabs his second and his third. Crucial cleans up. And Phoenix benefit from a lot of luck, to say the least. But they get their hands on 2 AK-47s. The force buy not working out at all for Gamerlegion, as they are going to be down to the weakest of ecos going into round number 4 of the second half. That was so lucky. If Juan Flatro hasn't been strafing his way through mid there, going for the bunny hops, then they have no idea. They rotate fully off of that A-bomb site. It's a free part for Gamerlegion, and the round goes completely differently. Instead, it's the full eco with just 2 P250s invested for the T side, and Juan Flatro taking Rusty out very early on as Phoenix. This is just about getting through this round without any real consequences. Surreal on the MP9 needs to try and farm himself some cash. He's going to get the early contact, takes down DJL and looking for more as well. He knows exactly where Dennis likes to play. He's got him locked in towards that corner, and CT support is starting to come through as he jumps down. Actually going to be able to find the frag as well. Nork was behind him there, but still able to find the shot. Crucial just cleaning up. Last man alive is Dennis, and he's down to 31 HP, trying to take the Angel. Crucial with the backstab to finish things off. Phoenix once again with the lead. It has been a narrow lead. They've never been more than 2 or 3 rounds ahead, but once again they find themselves in control of the situation and in control of how the remainder of this half goes. They're on the CT side as the buy does come in. What can Gamerlegion do with 5 AK-47s and a wealth of utility to work with? 6 more rounds for the CT side of Phoenix as they look to get aggressive, this time towards Banana. Lovely pop flash. DJL fully blinded, can't quite find the frag as Hampus is tagged up a little bit. It's the 1-for-1 trade on the MP9, and Phoenix perhaps taking a few too many liberties as Dennis finds a second frag onto Crucial. Just starting to find a little bit too much to work with this CT side, but there we go. The flank from Juan Flatro, able to find the second. CT side of Phoenix can be, I'm going to say dynamic, is how I'm going to describe the CT side of Phoenix, because they have almost entirely committed onto the rotation towards that A-bomb site, and for the time being, it is looking like the right call. The bomb making its way up through the apartments on the back of Rusty, and Nork there in support as well. It's going to be an easy frag for Juan Flatro in towards Pit. The next man not really able to trade things out. Nork just catching that smoke as well gives so much information to the CT side. NK rotating with perfect timing to catch Hampus as he tries to take control of the B-bomb site. Only 1 smoke in his possession. Really nothing he can do. Except try and cause as much havoc as possible. Thomas goes for the rotation to support an NK with all the information to work with. The bomb going to make its way around. Hampus an easy frag to find. NK adjusts well. The last man is North. He takes a couple of tags on the cross, and they know he's here as well. The rotation's going to be called. The flank already coming in from Juan Flatro, and the bomb actually faked. Goes for the double peek. Phoenix clean things up, and it will be 11. They get their lead to 2. Just 5 more rounds needed for the CT side. For the guy, Koji, yeah, I know. It's called hang words, and I am fucking awful with them. I do apologize. I like to hang on certain phrases whenever I can't think of something to say. I am working on it. Thank you very much for the feedback. 5 Deagles, the order of service for Gamerlegion. 4 sets of armor, 4 flashbangs, 1 HE. Not the best buy in the world as Hampus tries to get control of Banana, and Crucial actually just going to allow Juan Flatro to get as aggressive as he feels like down middle. Starting to lock this T side out of things and manages to get an opening pick as well down towards second mid. Hampus actually out on a limb, manages to find 1 to take down NK. A lovely 1 dig. Very simple, routine CS, but the aggressive position of Juan Fratro yet to be discovered, and he has got such a nice timing here. He's going to grab 1, looks for the second, and finds it as well. Just taking liberties again, grabs himself the third. And the last man on the server, Rusty's going to be found by Crucial, the AWP, getting his second frag of the round. And you can see Phoenix just starting to feel their way back into this game, just starting to feel like they can take this one and grab themselves what would only be, I think, their 3rd victory in MDL Season 32. A roster that struggled a lot with change, struggled a lot with losing players as well, but looking good so far here. Crucial getting that AWP and starting to find his frag, starting to find the aim. As Hampus, once again, with DJL, are going to take fast control of Banana, try and take the map control away from the CT side. The Molotov, though, going to put him in a very awkward position and actually burning alive in his own molly. You cannot be giving away frags like that. DJL, desperate to recover the situation, is looking to go through the smoke. Sat in the gap between 2 smokes, might be able to benefit from that. And Surreal is getting very aggressive in towards the logs, and I don't know if he expects DJL to be tight on his left-hand side here. He's just starting to think about the possibility. He spots the legs out as well. A second frag goes the way of Phoenix. 5 on 3 now. They're trying to mix things up. They're trying to head towards A, but Dennis has been spotted out. And Juan Flatro just adjusting his angle. Somehow finds the aim jewel and takes down Rusty. Looking for more. Can't quite find it. Crucial a little bit isolated as Dennis looking to cause havoc up towards short. Crucial actually out in the open, out on a limb. He's trying to duck and dive, but his head will be ripped off, and it's a 3 on 2 now with the bomb. Still so passive in middle, and that gives Thomas an absolutely free frag. It's all onto Dennis. He's got the AWP. He's 1 on 3, and Thomas is his first frag to find on the corner. What a flick on the quick scope, but now out on his own. It will be Surreal just to settle things down for Phoenix. Get their 13th on the board as once again the buy not quite working out. I spoke about how that T side for Gamerlegion isn't their strongest suit, and again, they're just not quite finding their footing. They looked so promising on the CT side. Phoenix, though, really starting to stretch their legs here. The force buy coming out. Gamerlegion know it is now or never. They're going for that buy. Not going to have much into the next round despite that high loss bonus. 4 Deagles and an AK, all they can really afford. And they're looking to group towards the A-bomb site. Just going to barrel on in. Try and give too many targets to Crucial on that AWP. Dennis sets himself up. Has the peek towards A-long. The utility going to come in behind him. And really just about making Phoenix's life as difficult as possible here. Juan Flatro a little bit early with the nade. Not going to get any real damage out of that one. And Rusty actually takes the early peek. Finds a tag onto the AWP. And that's his position known now. NK pop flash through. Spots out Hampus. That should be a freebie. And now they know there's no Banana presence. The rotation already been called for Surreal. But Dennis finding frags. Making things difficult yet again. It's going to be onto Surreal and Crucial here to hold this down. The flash is so good. A triple kill for Surreal. And Crucial just trading things out. Once again, Phoenix just playing with that individual skill. The spray down is so good for Surreal. Making it look all too easy against these half buys that are coming through from Gamerlegion. Phoenix just 2 rounds away now from securing victory in this best of 1. And getting yet another notch on their tags in MDL Season 32. Crucial, thinking about the early aggressive peek in towards Boiler, but the Molotov will halt his aggressions for the time being. Gamerlegion with a full buy to work with, a little bit limited in the utility, but they do manage to get the AWP out onto Nork and a decent bank of rifles to work with as well for this T side. Trying to pressure in towards Bracket. There's plenty of CT presence on this occasion. Both players in towards Boiler gives them so many options, and crucial with the crossfire setup. Juan Flatro needs to benefit from this. He manages to find one, but now there's too many angles to cover. It is going to be a net gain for Gamerlegion, and the A-bomb site actually completely open here. Thomas desperately trying to rotate in towards the library, but should be smoked off. There's plenty of utility left, and Nork actually just going to take liberties. Finds himself the headshot on the AWP. With a very enthusiastic peek that really shouldn't have worked out, but it does, and the bomb will go down for Phoenix. They can go for exit frags here. They can even go for the retake if they want to, but with so limited utility on NK and Surreal, I don't see any reason for them to go for anything other than the save, and indeed, just looking to hold in towards the arches and in towards second mid. Try and take a couple of rifles away from Gamerlegion at this point. It will be double digits for the Swedish side, but their economy is in rough position. Rough position? I am in such an awful position at the moment with my speech, apparently, as Hampers finds Surreal. And NK, the last man alive in towards the arches, isn't going to be tested, so it is going to be the four-man save coming out from Gamerlegion. Their economy is going to be tested, but it's going to survive a little while longer. And I apologise for my absolutely awful casting at this point. I am struggling, ladies and gents, but we will push on through and try and give you the best that I can. Double AWP setup called out by Phoenix almost immediately. As soon as the mistake is made, they look to correct matters by getting those double AWPs over on the CT side. Thomas picking up the secondary duties. Hasn't had the biggest of games so far, but looking to correct that here and now as he will go for the AWP towards Banana. Could go for the peak as well. Got a decent spawn for it, but just starting to slow things down as Nork sets himself up and pays the timing perfection from Nork as Thomas just shoots a little bit too early, can't quite connect with the shot, and once again Gamerlegion finding themselves the man advantage early on. This is more like it from the Swedish side, just Thomas not quite able to connect on the shot, and Gamerlegion now starting to group towards that B bomb site where NK and Surreal are going to have an absolutely huge job to do. We've seen what Surreal can do with that triple spray down, but that was against Deagles. What can he do against the full buy of Gamerlegion as they look to push on in here? Pop flash over the top. Full utility coming into this execute. Surely nothing Surreal or Phoenix can do. It's a lovely pick from NK, and somehow edge of the smoke. He grabs a second before DJL finds his teammate. Molotov goes onto the bomb, but that bomb actually stuck behind that smoke. Finally, Hampers able to grab it. It's 3-on-3. The AWP's trying to find the retake as Juan Flatro finds one. Juan Flatro finds two on the boost, and it's all onto Nork. The bomb not down. 40 seconds left on the clock. The flashbang is good, but can't quite find it. Crucial cleans up. And Phoenix needing just one more round to find themselves victory, and even managing to save those double AWPs they invested so heavily into. What a performance from Phoenix so far. You cannot argue that they have looked the better team on their CT side. They've just looked like they were a step ahead of Gamerlegion as they bring out 4 AKs and a Krieg to try and rescue this map. Try and rescue something. 4-man aggression towards Banana, going for the rush, but the nades will tag them down so low before anything really comes through. The Molotov to force them out into the open. DJL somehow finding the frags, but NK still alive and kicking, still able to find damage. It's 3-on-3. They're trying to get aggressive, and a missed flick from Crucial may spell his demise. Indeed, Hampers just taking that fight in towards CT. 2-on-2. Juan Flatcher and Surreal, what do you have for us as Nork gets aggressive in towards construction? Dennis and Nork to try and find this retake. Juan Flatcher and Surreal, they need to trade efficiently here. The double peek comes in. The spray's only good for one, though. 1-on-1. Juan Flatcher versus Dennis. Young versus old. Veteran versus newcomer. Who finds the aim duel? It's going to be Juan Flatcher. The young takes out the old, and it will be 16-10 as Phoenix take the victory here on Inferno. And what a performance from them. Congratulations, Phoenix. UK CS, best CS. Am I right, ladies and gents? And that is me done for today. A massive thank you to everybody who's watched, and of course a massive thank you to Davey and all of his viewers from coming in and enjoying that game with me. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what time because I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but it's going to be about 5 o'clock for some CS. It'll probably be Heretics coming up against Movistar if I've remembered the schedule correctly. We'll go have a little nosy. And if you have enjoyed the cast, of course, please feel free to drop me a follow. You know where all the buttons are. Twitter's down below. Twitch follows up top. Thank you very much, guys. I will be back tomorrow from Let's go have a look at what games are available on the 31st. I'll be back tomorrow from 5 p.m. Actually going to cover Movistar Heretics. I pronounced it right that time, Sneaky Panda. I'll be back for Movistar Heretics at 5 o'clock and then Forza against Pro 100 at 6. So hopefully I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. And if you did enjoy the stream, you know where the buttons are. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.